If you are the target of a grandiose narcissist, I got news for you. You're now her obsession. Yes, her goal is now to keep you very small, to degrade anything that means anything to you, to devalue you, to be passive aggressive with you, to triangulate, to lie, exaggerate, and to run with a very inaccurate narrative. Okay, that is her part-time job now. I should say full-time, but possibly she has another job. So we're going to say that this is now her part-time gig, right? So I'll give you 3 examples of something that happened to me, and maybe some of you out there can relate to this. The first one entails my having gone to the #1 restaurant in the entire world. And back in 2019 or 2018, it would have been Madison Park, 11 Madison Park. That is the actual name of the restaurant, which back then was #1 in the entire world, at least by Michelin guidelines. And my husband and I flew to New York, of course, and we had a blast. It was very enjoyable. So I'm having a conversation with a grandiose narcissist. This is only, I would say, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, okay? This is not 10 years ago. This is like 5 years ago, maybe. And so she says to me that she has traveled all over the world. And basically she's letting me know that she can afford to go to any restaurant she wishes to. And she kept mentioning her having traveled all over the world and her having gone to the best of the best restaurants. And she would have never gone to 11 Madison Park. It's all about name, and it is a big waste of time and money. And she went on and on and on trying to convince me of why that was a bad idea on my part. And so I ended up the conversation saying to her, well, that is your opinion, and obviously it's not for you. For me, it was highly enjoyable and I loved it. I'm glad that I did. I really enjoyed it. And I went off to speaking to her about something else. The second example is when I was speaking with her about my director. When I was 12 or 13, I joined the school band and I was playing clarinet. And I loved my director. I cannot think of one instrument which he did not master. I mean, he had command of just about every instrument I can think of. And he was always very respectful to me, and he was very good to me. And thanks to him, I learned to read and play music. And considering my background, of which she knew, the chaotic house from which I came, joining the band was really a nice getaway from all of that. It made me feel fulfilled, like I was doing something that I really enjoyed. It made me feel good. I was with my classmates and we were all playing beautiful music. I felt accomplished. So that was to me a positive. And so I'm speaking to her highly of him, and all of a sudden she says, he was an alcoholic, he was a cheater, and she went on and on and on telling me these horrible things about him. And my response to her was, I am neither married to him, nor do I care, because he is not living in the house with me. He is my director, my band instructor, my music instructor. As a musician, he is A plus. I don't care about any of those things that you mentioned to me. This is my instructor, a music teacher. Why would I care about those things you just mentioned? But above all, why on earth would you be telling me these things? And she gave me some word salad, as usually narcissists do. The third example is when I was talking about my famous macarons. And macarons are different from macaroons. Macaroons with two O's, they are made out of coconut and they're fairly easy to make, but I'm talking about French macarons. And it is a specialty sort of little pastry. And for those of you who do work on macarons, it's very difficult to get it right, isn't it? You gotta get the footing just right. If you don't tap it before you put it in the oven, they might deflate, they might get too chewy or too crunchy, they might break. I mean, they're highly, highly sensitive to room temperature, to oven temperature, there's a whole host of things that you really have to do right in order for you to successfully bake those macarons. And so I take pride in knowing that it is one of my specialties. I worked as a pastry chef at the restaurants my husband and I owned. And I did that for years. And I can tell you, nailing macarons, French macarons, is not easy at all. Not at all. Plus, they're fabulous. They taste really yummy because they're crunchy on the outside and they're chewy on the inside. And that in and of itself is an art. You have to do it just right so that the outside is crunchy, but then on the inside is chewy. Okay? For those of you who know about this. So I was talking to her about them. She says to me, I hate macarons. I hate them. When I traveled to, and she went on about Italy and she went on about other places, they are everywhere. Those things are everywhere. They are left. People just leave them because they are everywhere. And I'm listening to her, and the jealousy and the ill will, the zero-sum game are so evident in this voice that I'm listening to. It is almost sad how desperate she was trying to devalue something that obviously meant a lot to me. Because when you are very good at something and you know it, you know what that is. You might be very good at teaching, or you might be very good at repairing cars, or you might be very, very good at singing. Whatever it is, you take so much pride in it and it's almost your baby, right? Well, that's how I feel about my French macarons, because it is one of those specialties that I nailed. But it was not easy. I must have made thousands of them before I really got them just right every single time after that, okay? So it was some labor of love, and I got it. So I used to make them at our restaurants, and I take pride in that. And I was sharing this with her, and she was just going on and on. Her words verbatim, quote, end of quote, were, they are left behind. In Europe, everybody sells them. I said, interesting, because in the United States, you cannot just find French macarons everywhere, and not everyone makes them because there's a certain effort and art that goes behind them to get them just right. The same size, because the shell, the upper shell has to match the lower shell. So if they're not the same size, you're going to have a little bit of an issue. The feeling cannot be too runny, but it cannot be overly thick, right? And you can embellish them, you can adorn them. I mean, there's a lot going on with French macarons. So she was going on and knocking them down. And she was saying, in Europe, where I went, they are all over the place. Everybody sells them, but they are left behind. Nobody cares for them. Nobody likes them. These are only 3 examples that I've given you. I could be here until next year giving you examples about how this one particular grandiose narcissist, who by the way is not in my life any longer, I made sure of that, but this person was so desperate to devalue and knock down anything that was important to me. That's what a grandiose narcissist will do. And just to give you an example how dark and evil this is, the person to whom I am referring in all of these examples is my older sister, the one born before me 2 years prior. This is consanguinity. This is a bloodline here. And this is how she treats me. And I'm not talking now when we were children. I am talking just a few years ago, 5 years ago, okay? Which is one of the reasons why she's not in my life any longer. I hope this gives some of you an idea as to how evil this mind is to actually speak like that to someone who shares bloodlines with her. It's all about targeting you. You are the target. They become obsessed with an attempt to destroy you from the moment they see you until the moment they say goodbye. You become their obsession. Keep that in mind when you think that those closest to you, especially family members, cannot hurt you. Narcissism, or NPD, narcissist personality disorder, does not discriminate. It can be in your family, it can be in your closest circles, it can be at work, it's everywhere. It is up to you to recognize it, and once you do, it is up to you to decide how you are going to handle it and whether or not this is someone you want to have in your proximity and